Aloha, hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii and 365 Hawaii Group Real Broker.
And Lance Owens here with LUVA Real Estate.
Right, and if you guys don't know it, but we've been talking about real estate for over 5 years on our YouTube channel about statistics and trends and issues affecting West Hawaii. And today, I am completely convinced that all of the things that you're seeing out on YouTube that are telling you that it is horrible to retire to Hawaii because of all the things you're going to face. There are solutions and ways around that. And I think that that's what we want to tell you guys, that it's not all doom and gloom. And one thing that I like about Lance is the fact that since, we're both getting up there in age, that we have found
That's been the theme this week. I just got back from a seminar in Honolulu on Tuesday, and it was the person doing the real estate portion of it was talking about getting older. What are you doing? How much money you're going to leave it to your kids when you die? Why don't you just buy them a home now and get them in the roller coaster? Get them going.
Yeah.
Don't leave them with $500,000 or $200,000 or whatever it may be. Go put a down payment on a home.
Yeah.
Help them out. Why are you doing it when you're dead and gone and doing it? So anyway, and then the insurance agent, that was her whole thing. Like, what are you going to do? Leave your kids with this broken down house? Get things fixed so the insurance covers it.
Well, we have a longtime realtor in town, Cindy, who said, I don't have to leave my kids anything. And I'm going to go ahead and spend the money that I've made.
And that's good too.
Yeah, and she's bought 2 other homes, one up in Ocean View to stay at the 4,000 mark. So there's different opportunities, obviously, for your retirement monies. And both Lance and I do believe, though, life is short. Hawaii is awesome. And that every day that you're not living in Hawaii, you're not enjoying your life.
To the fullest. Yeah.
That's right, because you could be having sunsets over the ocean here in Hawaii. But if you're worried about these 4 things, I'm going to give you, okay, so if you're worried about healthcare, if you're worried about housing, if you're worried about island fever and not being able to see your grandkids, or if you're worried about not having a purpose once you get here with community and volunteerism, then those are the things that we're going to talk about right now so you guys can get some ideas and some solutions to these problems. So let's hit healthcare.
Healthcare. All right. I'm going to give a free plug here. I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting compensated for this. But up until, the only time I saw a doctor in the last, I'm 63. Let's put that on the table.
Okay, let's just name it.
Let's drop that one. So, up until my mid-50s, the only time I went to doctors when I crashed my motorcycle and broke something, and that was it. And they kept saying, well, you're not going to heal as fast, you're getting older. And I did all the way up until I got into my 50s, and then I didn't heal as fast. So,
welcome to the world.
But now there's things that, you're watching out for, you look at your parents, I know my father had a stroke like in his early 60s and I'm 63. It's like, well, let's try and avoid that stuff. I don't want to fix it after it happens. So I went to my doctor and asked him, what I need to do and, what can we test? I want to check everything to make sure that we don't find out something after I'm laying in the hospital. So, so they didn't have the equipment here that they really wanted the heavy testing stuff. Yeah. So I'm like, there's no big deal. They said, we'll schedule you in for Monday, and you need to show up at the airport at 8:45 a.m. and catch the flight, a 45-minute flight to Honolulu. When you get off, there'll be a van. He comes by I forget what the time is, maybe every half hour or something he comes by. And so they'll come by, they'll pick you up, they'll take you to the hospital. I was back eating lunch at home. So that's really not, how many of you guys go into the city and have to find parking? You're driving 45 minutes or half an hour to your doctor's appointment, you're fighting traffic, you're doing all these things and then having to come home, same thing. So I'm flying to Honolulu, the van picks me up, takes me there, the van takes me back to the airport. They have a deal with the airlines, they might book you back at a 1 o'clock flight, but you're done at 10, and they'll go down the lobby and they'll rebook you on the earlier flight.
Right, and this is for Kaiser.
Yeah, so I'm with Kaiser, I don't know the other health plans.
Right.
I've been with Kaiser for a long time, but it's pretty nice. And so for the things that can wait and maybe you need a specialist on, living here in Hawaii and doing our things, we sat there and I had some some skin cancer issues where they had to go in and cut a football thing out like that big, right?
Yeah.
And like, oh, don't worry, that doctor will be here on, he comes over every second Tuesday of the month or something. Right. And so, boom, they set us up in the room. He comes in, he's playing like some old rock and roll. I'm thinking all these terrible things, and it's just, no, the music's cranking, he's in there, they numb out your whole leg, they cut a big section out of it, and, so it it wasn't as big of a deal as you think. You know, I hear people all the time, well,
yeah,
need to
you're
have
going to
a
be on a
cart.
plane over to Oahu.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
They run like buses here almost. I mean, before 9/11, you just bought a book of tickets. And that was just so cool. You had a book of tickets, you showed up at the airport and peeled one out of your book and you gave it to them and you flew over there.
Because Kaiser pays for the airfare to go to
Kaiser
Oahu.
pays for my airfare. They pay for me to be picked up.
Right.
If for some reason I do a late day one where the shuttle's not running or something weird, they give you taxi vouchers.
Oh, there you go. That's
And
nice.
so, I forget why one day the van wasn't going to be running. So
And they pay for your airfare.
yeah.
Okay, so they pay for your airfare.
Yeah.
They pay for you
I was
to
out
get-
my parking at the airport.
Okay, so you're out parking at the airport.
Yeah.
So
and I'll bet you when you go to see your doctor downtown that you're paying your parking pass
Right.
too, right? So,
Sorry.
and that's really the only thing out of my pocket because they got the airfare, they got the cab, they got everything else covered. And I'm betting that when you go to see your doctor downtown, you're paying for parking if you're in a town that has that, you know? So
Right.
it's really not that much different.
Right.
It really isn't. It's not a big
so
deal.
that is a way to get a chance to see a specialist. It's a way to make sure that you're getting premium health care. And you are not having to pay extra for it because you're going to a different island to get it.
Right.
Okay, so that solves a lot of these
A
problems.
lot of the medical problems, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Because one of the things that we have we've had a couple of people come onto the island and they are talking about cardiologists and they're talking about I think what's called nephrologists for like liver and kidney diseases and things like that. If you are coming here very sick, you might you should rethink your drink a little bit, just in the sense that this island actually encourages you to be healthy. You're going to be walking around. You're going to be eating really good food. You're going to be eating from the land. And you know what? Most of my friends don't have to see doctors on a consistent basis because once you live here, you actually get healthier.
Yeah.
You're breathing better air. You're less stress. And so if you take care of yourself in general, then you're not going to see a bunch of doctors.
Right.
Right. And so if you do need to see some specialists, like Lance says, there are ones that are not that far away. It's like you said, it's a 30-minute plane ride.
45 minutes.
45 minutes,
plane
and
ride,
then it's 15 minutes to the doctor's office.
Yeah, I mean the Mauna Loa Hospital is right outside the airport. They've got two different ones because they got different equipment. I volunteered. They asked me, my demographics are like, would you like to do a lung cancer study with us? You know, and so every year they fly me over there.
Oh.
And they send me to one hospital.
Yeah.
And it's no deductible, no nothing. You know, it's all covered. They do a CAT scan of my whole upper body.
Yeah.
And they watch it every year and say, you know, because, you know, back I grew up in Las Vegas and smoking and drinking was the thing. So I smoked cigarettes for, I don't know, 20, 30 years probably. So I quit. They wanted somebody to quit 10 years ago and things like that. So anyways, it's pretty cool. I mean, I've got everything here and I feel comfortable. I feel taken care of by them. I feel it's good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think twice about it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't leave here because of the medical attention I'm getting.
There you go. And also, when I actually had skin cancer on my forehead, I had to go to Oahu too. We actually have a Mohs surgeon here now in Kona. So that's taken care of, because that's one thing that happens, I think, to our age group is skin cancer.
Yeah, you start getting skin cancer.
And then also one of the things, we have a beautiful eye institute that just opened up recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even hear
So the
about that.
Bennett Eye Institute. So as more people who are moving here and the baby boomers, issues are being known, I think the healthcare add-ons here are getting a little better.
Yeah,
as well.
it's getting better every day.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
So.
So there you go. Let's go to housing.
Housing.
Okay, so one thing about, like, when we talk about retirement housing, I'd say that the demographics of West Hawaii are increasingly getting older, right? I'd say that most of the people who live here are probably over the age of 55.
I wish we had that number,
I know.
because it's it is mostly, we're a retirement community. The sidewalks
Really, at the
roll
end
up
of the
at
day,
9 p.m.,
we
and
there's a retirement community called, Jimmy Buffett actually created one in Florida. And we're not Jimmy Buffett's retirement community, but damn it, we have oceanside seating on restaurants, and most of the houses, as the sun is coming down across our faces right now, most of the houses do have an ocean view. So you can sit here in a retirement community with people who are like a lot of our age group here, coming from places that are like Santa Barbara, San Diego, Seattle. We have a lot of people from high-powered cities coming here to finally get a chance to relax and live the second part of their lives in a better way. So but the housing part of it is the fact that yes, our housing. What's the median price now? It is January of 2024.
9,999,950.
Okay, and that's for a normal 3-bedroom, 2-bath
So
house.
500. So it's 500 under $1 million. That's for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, typically median price. And for condos, it's 570. I think was the median price, 572. So even if you get a condo, if you're thrifty on what you want to spend and do, if you don't get one, because not everyone has an ocean view, so if you get one that doesn't have an ocean view from inside the unit. So it gets you to get up and walk across the parking lot or do something, to go sit
or down to the pool area.
Yeah, the pool area. I mean, you look at Keoho Surf and Racket, right? You got a lot of interior ones there that don't have any views, but they all meet down there at the beach. Yeah. They keep their chairs all stacked up down there, and they meet down there.
They do.
And they may partake in some beverages and sit down there and watch the sunset. And so,
I have a friend that said that she knows a guy that has been down on a chair next to Surf and Racket for 25 years, every single night. And wouldn't you want to be that guy that gets a chance to just watch the world just every night? The whales come for 4 months out of the year, the dolphins come out, you get a chance to watch the sunsets and how it changes across the ocean. That's a good life, right? And a lot of these condo complexes actually have a pretty robust community aspect of themselves too. So as more people are retiring here, there are more people who are here more full-time than they used to be with just vacation people. So there's definitely that.
Yeah, I can see. And again, I've been doing this 20 years right here, and a lot of people I've seen come and go, they'll buy for several years, but more and more in the last 5 years, I've seen people that are buying their future retirement home now and renting it till they get here.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've had some calls. Just last week we got some calls on that.
So I'm seeing more of that transition of that buyer happening now.
Yeah, so if you guys are actually you're early, I'd say mostly early 50s, because it's so funny because I'm 58, and I asked a bunch of my friends the other day, when do you plan on retiring? And most of them said, if I can get out by the time I'm 58, I'm fine. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's fantastic. So you're still pretty young. I like to believe you're pretty young and spry at 58.
I used to think that was so old.
I know, it's like, what? So there's so many things to do on this island that keeps you young. You're walking on Leahy, you're hiking, you're just swimming in the ocean. There's so many things to do here. The canoe clubs, so many great things to do around, just keeping healthy and alive and vibrant. But with the housing aspect of it, if you're here in West Hawaii, you're not that far from all of it.
And it's funny because you were talking about, being younger and more active and doing things. And I had to laugh. I had a flashback here real quick because, I didn't have my wife and we had one child and only one child. And it wasn't until I was 40. So 55, teaching him how to drive scared the hell out of me. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do that. How am I going to survive that? Well, that came and went pretty easy. Yeah. And, but it's interesting that, of course, your life revolves around your kids, and I've got a new set of friends now from school, from soccer practice from school. They're all 10 to 15 years younger than me, right? Yeah. Is Grandpa here with you? And I was like, no, I'm his dad. But I was keeping up with all these young couples, and it's so funny. I laugh at them. I look at them now. I laugh with them, not at them. We had some up the other day for New Year's, and I said, you guys, when I was your age, I wasn't near as old as you guys are. You guys had me out. We were camping every weekend. We're doing all this, and everybody wants to do is just come sit around the fire up at up at KLD, and so it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So.
In fact, I had my son when I was almost 40, so I too said, you know what, I'm going to stay young because my kids demand that of you. But that's another thing too, that
keep moving and hanging around younger people.
Yeah, and again, this town makes you have to be a little bit more young because you do want to get outside and enjoy outdoors every day, because 365 a year, we don't have snow, we're not freezing, it's not dangerous to be here. That's another reason why I think a lot of people want to retire here. They're tired of, let's say, Michigan, Chicago, Minnesota, mountain living, just because they want to be safe and they don't want to be freezing anymore.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about with housing, though. So housing, I'll tell you guys, the reason I pulled housing because Lance and I keep doing these shows, and he always mentions you don't need a big square foot house because you're not freezing in the house where you have to like wander around while you're freezing. So your thought process is you don't need a lot of space to live here.
You don't need a lot of space. You know, what more do you need than to be sitting outside like this and enjoying the weather? Your space all of a sudden is you know, your visibility 50 miles. You know, that your space opens up. It's hard for me when I go to the mainland. I'm in enclosed walls and things. You know, I don't care if it's 4,000 square foot home. It's my 2,000 square foot home feels way bigger than a 4,000 square foot home is because everything's open, and I'm outside all the time. So it's it's different. You know, you need to set your standards a little bit different. You need to understand that. You'll get it when you've been here for a long time, but. You know, another thing is with the air conditioning. Everybody says I gotta have air conditioning in my home. I don't know. You know, depends on if you're right on the coast.
Yeah, if you're next to the ocean, you might need air conditioning.
You might.
Yeah. But if you can get up in elevation a little bit, you get more of the tropical breezes.
What are you up here?
Through. So we're at 750.
750, yeah.
Yeah, which is a pretty good. It's nice.
You don't need AC. Have you ever wanted air conditioning?
No, it's fine. In fact, it's good. It's winter now, and it's like 68 degrees. I'm cold. But the concept of thinking that if you're retiring down from 4,000, thinking you need 2,000 square feet, you really only need 15. And also, we always joke about when you retire, how much time do you want to spend cleaning your house?
Yeah.
Get outside.
Furnishing it.
Right.
Furnishing it, cleaning it.
You can save some money by getting a smaller footprint here in Hawaii, and you can also spend more of your time enjoying outside than actually dealing with the interior of your house and the exterior.
You know what's nice about the outside? I get my blower and and it's clean. There's no vacuuming. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
And people laugh at me, you know, because my wife has to have her kitchen perfectly clean all the time. I literally walk out at 6 a.m. or 6:30 in the morning, and I throw my cast iron pan on my Weber grill on the side burner, and I cook my stuff out there because a barbecue pit is meant to be a little bit dirty.
Yeah.
So
he makes his eggs outside. It's amazing.
I know, right? You see all the time. It's like
you should have his own cooking channel. But the fact that you can cook your eggs out on a grill in Hawaii whenever you feel like it too.
Just on Christmas morning, you can be outside barefoot and in shorts, and you're cooking on your grill. It's just amazing.
Yep.
So
Right. That's why. Okay, so you don't need a lot of space, and also you don't need a lot of stuff. So the joke
saved
is,
a ton of money, right?
You don't move a $20,000 container over to Hawaii, not only are you saving $20,000, you're also not sitting with your stuff and trying to figure out what you're going to do with it here and having to have a bigger house to be able to hold the stuff. So if you're thinking about, hey, how do you actually have a life that is not just where you're just being pulled by the stuff that you just left behind? Don't bring it.
Don't bring it.
Just don't bring it. Give it to your family now.
If you ever had, so everybody says, well, no, I have to have this. You know, and I've never had one person tell me that I'm so glad I brought everything.
Yeah, I've never
20
heard
years
that.
I've been doing this. I've never heard it.
Yep.
I've heard more than enough times that I wish I would have listened to you. I wish I would have sold it. Furniture is different here. You need smaller furniture.
Yeah.
You don't need that big, bulky brown leather couch, that's oversized because you're going to be in a smaller home.
Right.
And like you said, the $20,000, just save it.
Save it. Put it towards your retirement.
Put it towards your new furniture in Hawaii.
Buy a Mai Tai.
Yeah, buy a Mai Tai and put the rest of it towards your new furniture here. That's island style, furniture.
Right. Yeah, and we have, there's what you guys, seriously, we have a whole channel on how you can find out furniture on the island. There's so many different places that you can look, but dragging it across the ocean with what they're charging right now in shipping costs, not necessary. And I have actually asked a variety of people. I have a group called the 365 Kona Newbies group, and people who are moving here ask questions, and a lot of it is about moving stuff, and everyone always says, what's the number one regret? I brought too much stuff with me. So don't feel that you have to say, oh, I can't move to Hawaii because, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with all my stuff? Let it go.
Stuff that you're going to give your kids when you pass, give it to them
now. And be free of it and have a good life in Hawaii. Okay, so that's the housing. Okay, so that's the stuff and everything else. Okay, then island fever.
Island fever. Okay, I think everybody gets it.
Okay.
100% honest with you. I moved here in 1984. In 1987, I had island fever. I hit the 3-year mark that everybody. It's typical. It's a 2 to 3 year mark that people get island fever. I was missing apple pie, Chevrolet, and hot dogs, right? And, I come here and it was Toyota Tacomas and Spam musubi and tofu and rice. And I was like, I just want to go home to my Chevy and my, these type of things, my comfort foods, my comfort things. So
mine's Trader Joe's, by the way.
Yeah. So, the big thing is I left, I went back. It wasn't as great as I remembered it. So I ended up coming back to Hawaii. So it cost me a ton of money to move here. It cost me half a ton of money to move back. And it cost me very little to get back here because I came with nothing.
Yeah.
I did like I should have done the first time. But how I resolved that island fever is because you still get it. There's things you miss. I miss options. We don't have a ton of different restaurants. We don't have to do anything, but all I have to do is load up and go home for 4 weeks. Not home. This is home. Go back to the mainland for 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
You come back and you get off that airplane and you bow down and you kiss that tarmac because you're just so happy to be home.
Yeah.
And it's just that feeling. And you'll know. I'll only have to mention it once because you'll know once you've done it that door, that plane door opens and you come out that staircase. We don't have any of the tunnels that come out.
You're walking down the staircase.
You're walking down the stairs and you're so happy to hit that tarmac. So that I found alleviates it. If I go to the mainland for an extended amount of time, because if I only go for a weekend or a week, I find myself, I didn't get to this place, I want to eat that place and this place. And, but by the time of 3 or 4 weeks come around, okay, I'm done. I'm done of all these places. I'm over it. I've done all my options. I always call them, I've done Disneyland. I've done Magic Mountain. I've done, whatever I needed to do. But I'm ready to go back home. So plan that. Make that part of your game plan. Say, you know what, honey, we got to go back to the mainland twice a year.
Right.
Or once a year, whatever you need to do.
And put that in your budget. When you're thinking, because I know a lot of people actually they're very dedicated to figure out how they're going to make this work. They do a lot of math. They meet with their financial advisors. They just plan it all out with how much it's going to cost. Put travel in your budget.
They never do that. They never have travel. I never had it in there.
Yeah.
You
have to get off the island.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to tell you guys, one of the reasons why when people say I'm moving and I'm selling the house, I say why, and they say because I miss my grandkids. You know what? But these also people are not people who have actually made it a point to still try and be in their lives. And I'm saying, you know what? There's being in grandchildren's lives like living down the street. That's one thing. But if you want to be having the life that you dream for yourself and not feel like you have to be with your own children next to your grandkids, you can do it. You can have the best life ever here in Hawaii. But then have times where they come visit you. Get a home that maybe has a little space where your family can visit you, or not. And tell them to get a hotel.
I want to throw something in really quick on that because I can't tell you in the 20 years how many times the perfect home is. I've got the primary bedroom on this side, and I want a second primary on the entire other side of the house, where they have their own bathroom and a bedroom over there. 2 bathrooms on that side, one for my kids and one for their kids, right? And they have it all planned out in life, and it ends up that's the perfect house everybody wants. I built my house like that, but it's they put too much emphasis on that because I'll tell you, I've seen it for 20 years now. The kids come out the first year with all the grandkids, they come out, and then it's they did that for a week or 2 weeks, and good thing you spent all $200 extra grand on that house that you had to have for that reason, and maybe you can afford it. That's easy, but they don't come out the next year because guess what? The kids are a year older. They're big enough now to go to Disneyland,
and they only have a certain amount of time for vacation. Yeah, and they can't come to Hawaii all the time.
So they're not gonna spend that money to come here every year that people think they are. They think this is the perfect place. It's the perfect place for you. It's not the perfect place to bring the kids every single year. So I get the 3-year plan where the parents end up moving back home because of, get a smaller place. Put up with them living in your space for 2 weeks.
Or put them in a hotel.
Everybody will be ready to go home.
Yeah, and then use that money to go see them.
Use the money to go see them. Yeah. Get them out there. Yeah. You go out. maybe plan a trip twice a year. At least I would. Figure out. And
holidays,
maybe make it a
vacation.
special time. Where you celebrate the 3 of the kids' birthdays all at the same time.
People do that. Yeah. But the thing is that you don't want your family to make you feel guilty, because you don't see them often enough. But if they know you've dedicated yourself to coming out twice a year to see them all, that helps that. And also, you guys, I love this island. I do. But going to a big fat concert, a big fat football game, a big fat
baseball game,
an opening of something huge, like like the Met or something. You gotta get off the island to do it. And we're just, you know what, we can we're not going to blow smoke up you and say, boy, everything you ever need in your life is right here on this island. Because you know what, if you had a full life on the mainland and you still want to have a full life, there's things here that you're never going to get a chance to do anywhere else. But you're not going to do the things that you think, wow, man, I'd like to go see, the Dead in concert or whatever. But if you plan for it and you know that you can get your airfare out here, then you're done. So that's the island.
Put that in your
thing.
Financial planning.
Right. So travel and grandkids. There you go.
Yep.
And then the fourth one, we talk about retirement, and people say, "I'll retire when I'm dead," because they hear that once people stop working, they die within 3 years. So people are sometimes afraid to take retirement because they're like, what am I going to do after I retire? Well, okay, I'm going to put my little hat on, my 365 hat. When people move to Hawaii and they have nothing to do, I put them to work. Yes, I do. I have my 365 Kona Newbies group, and we just created the 365 Hawaii Island Community Fund, and it is a repository for volunteers to be able to work in a variety of different nonprofits that have events, need help, and anything. We've got Reef Teach if you want to go and help with marine conservation. We've got the Humane Society if you want to help with pets. We've got
Habitat for Housing. How often are they building?
Well, they're just doing a community build now.
Okay.
They're actually looking for volunteers right now to go swing a hammer and build housing. Anything that you want to do opportunity is galore on this island, and we help you find that volunteer opportunity, and we help you create the friendships within the people who want to volunteer. And so we hold parties, we do volunteer
Julie's
events.
a party lady.
I know, I love events. In fact, this lanai that we're sitting on is my 365 Sunset Lanai, and we do hold events, and I have helped people create great friendships from the work that I do.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. And if you do not want to give up on what your life looks like, we can help you still find purpose. And I think purpose is an important part of being retired, is that you still matter.
Just staying alive.
Right. And so not only are you still like having this great opportunity to go swimming in the ocean and everything else and joining the paddling club or whatever, there's opportunities on this island to still be somebody. What we call it here is you get to be a big fish in a small bowl. Because the things that you do here make a bigger impact than what you normally get a chance to do on the mainland.
I think about it like my mom in her last few years. She wasn't confined to a wheelchair, but she's one of those power chairs. She had to get around and do things, and really couldn't go out for long walks. So, but she found a community of a group of people in her age group that got together once or twice a week and did their things. They met down along the coast there, and they did they would sometimes do card games. They would do whatever. They had a purpose. They met with each other, and life was good. They all became friends.
Cool. And you know what? Here they also do things like they've got quilting on the beach. And then also there's a group of people that make dresses for children in underserved countries so they don't get trafficked. And I gave my sewing machine to them. My mom after passed away, I gave them a sewing machine for that. We can connect people to doing the thing that you want to make a difference with. Somebody's making it happen here. And if you are the kind of person like me and you want to make something happen that hasn't been created yet, come on down. We could use people who are retiring, who are still vibrant and still want to give back to the island and the world. And you know what? I'm telling you guys, we have the most passionate people here. Smart, passionate people. And it's just, it's an amazing place to be able to create something new in your life. So don't think that you're giving up and you're just going to sit around the beach and have a Mai Tai. How long can you last doing that? You can't. Come and be vibrant and get a chance to live in a vibrant community that we all create together. There we go. Retirement can be fun. It doesn't have to be crazy. And certainly, I think we've hit the fact that you can
do better planning.
Better planning. You can stay healthy here more often, and also if you do not need to, go again.
We just had a little earthquake.
If you are finding yourself in a position where you need 16 different specialists, maybe this island isn't for you.
Yeah, maybe that's not the thing.
Let's be honest. But if you find yourself needing a couple things that you need everything done and tests and things that come along, we can do it here. But the best thing is that you're going to be living a healthier lifestyle here.
Yes.
The ocean is like a big fat Epsom bath salt experience, and
my son. That was the first. My son went in the military 5 years ago, and he was back for almost a month, and he was like, "Dad, I forgot how healing the ocean is. My skin feels different. My hair feels different. Just being in the water and being in the salt is amazing. So.
Yeah. And my son has been sitting at Oregon State now for a couple months, and the first thing he said was, let me get back into the ocean.
Yeah.
And during the time that he was
Yeah.
here, he wanted to get back into the ocean.
Yep.
It is a beautiful thing, and that's the reason he moved to Hawaii. So obviously, if you're thinking about retiring here, you've probably been here quite a few times, and you know that their value that we're telling you is true, that you get your sunset in your face, and you get to be in the ocean, you get a chance to breathe great air, and you're eating great food. So we hope that this has helped you guys at least kind of hear a little bit more of the solutions, and different ways that you can actually address the things that you're worried about. And if you have more questions about buying a house here, making things happen, the community aspect of it, I'm going to drop Lance's information down in the comments, and we'll drop in Eric's and my information, and reach out, and we'd love to help you buy a house and help you guys get committed to the community, and just have a great rest of your life, really.
Yeah. Julie and I are both licensed realtors, broker. It's been,
That's right, you got your broker's license.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
So it is, that's how we make our living, and that's why we do these things, to help people, so that you don't just come in and go and leave in the 2 or 3 year plan.
Yes.
So,
It's a very expensive experience moving here and leaving. So we try and make it so
it's
you guys
hard.
can
You make
stay.
friends with your buyers, and then they're all leaving.
Yeah.
In 2 to 3 years. So
Yeah.
plan it, stay. And
Right, and I make friends with my buyers too, and I keep them all, and they all get a chance to meet one another at my parties.
Yeah.
So we hope that that's been helpful, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We have information about what's happening with housing statistics and trends. We offer that once a month, and we also do mortgage updates, and we also do events and different things that happen on the island on our 365 Hawaii channel. So with that, we say aloha.
Aloha.